Iran is vowing retaliation after the U.S. killed one of its top generals in Iraq last night. Qasem Soleimani commanded the branch of Iran's security forces responsible for operations abroad. He was killed in an airstrike near Baghdad's airport. The U.S. says Soleimani was planning attacks on U.S. diplomats and troops in Iraq. Many Canadians may be unfamiliar with Qasem Soleimani. So Laura McQuillan is here to tell us more about him. So Laura, tell me a little bit more.
Well, he's regarded by many as the second most powerful man in Iran, second only to the supreme leader there. And that's because of not just his military power or prowess, but also for his diplomacy, which was such an important role that he played. He was the mastermind of Iran's military activities right across the Middle East. Things like intelligence, strategy, warfare. He led its Quds Forces for 2 decades, but as I mentioned, a diplomat as well, quietly forming relationships behind the scenes with groups like Hezbollah, like Hamas, providing training, funding and weapons for those groups. He really was very much a covert operator until at least 2003 when the US invaded Iraq. And then we saw Soleimani pushing militant groups to attack US forces. He helped develop those pro-Iranian militias in Iraq as well, and also in more recent years helped spearhead Bashar al-Assad's push back against rebels uprising in Syria and the fight against ISIS there as well. So all of that made him a US target for some years. And just 2 years ago, he gave a chilling warning to US President Donald Trump. I want to show you the comments that Soleimani made, saying, "Mr. Trump, the gambler, I'm telling you, know that we are close to you in that place that you don't think we are. You will start the war, but we will end it." And a lot of people are wondering today the message behind that, Hannah, as some people see this being on the verge of war.
And what could happen next for the region?
Well, with his death, a lot has been made of who is going to fill that void. Of course, we've seen threats of retaliation from Iran. We've also seen Iraqi militants or militias say that they will retaliate against the United States as well, not just for his killing, but that of one of their leaders. But some groups like Hezbollah also promising to step into that gap. And I want to show you some comments from the leader of Hezbollah in Lebanon, saying meting out the appropriate punishment to these criminal assassins will be the responsibility and task of all resistance fighters worldwide. We who stayed by his side will follow in his footsteps and strive day and night to accomplish his goals. So at this point, Hannah, very much wait and see who pops up, who does what that retaliation might look like and when it might happen. Of course, we've seen the United States telling its citizens, get out of Iraq. We've seen US governments internally ramping up efforts to keep their citizens safe, and also the US sending more troops into Iraq or the Middle East now. All of that bracing for what might come next. But at this point, we're not quite sure what that might be.